Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. If you've seen any of my videos before, I welcome you back. And any of you who are new, I really hope you find something you like and decide to stay a while. Today we'll be continuing my gun workshop series and taking a look at the very first assault rifle available in the game, the Kilo 141. This rifle comes to us from Germany and provides a solid and relatively stable 4-shot kill, again to a respectable range for an assault rifle. Also, before I get into the builds for this weapon, I'd like to ask any of you watching this video to leave a comment down below, letting me know what weapon you'd like to see next from my gun workshop series. I don't get a ton of comments typically, so who knows, maybe your suggestion could be the topic of next week's video. Hopping right into our short range variant, as I typically do, I present to you the Whisper. Despite this being a close range variant of the Kilo, I am not using the shortest barrel available. Instead, we're starting off with the Syngard Arms Whisper Barrel, which suppresses our weapon and slightly increases its range, all in one attachment. Next, we remove the stock, giving us far greater mobility while increasing recoil. In another shocker, I've decided to throw Sleight of Hand on here just to give us a little boost to the mildly slow reload. 50 round mags are a nice middle ground between the 30 and 100 round drum, and the Merc foregrip is used to improve our recoil and to keep us effective in CQC situations. The reason I didn't go for the shortest barrel with this weapon is the fact that it's a 5.56 rifle, so the damage is already lesser than what I'm used to, and add to that the relatively slow fire rate of the weapon, and we can't really afford to be losing effective range. Once that effective range is shortened enough, you'll need 1, 2, or maybe even 3 more torso shots to get a kill. Ideally, we want to be killing as fast as possible, so there was no reason for me to shorten the barrel. Plus, the Whisper almost acts as an integrated monolithic suppressor since it also increases our range. Removing the stock and using the Merc foregrip is really what makes this a CQC variant. It gains increased mobility without the stock, but retains some control and hipfire management with the Merc foregrip. This build is better at standard multiplayer, but it can still be effective in some areas of ground war, especially if you're going for a stealthy capture or a good flank. I wouldn't recommend this build for Warzone since that mode requires a bit more range than this variant offers. Now on to my long range variant for the Kilo 141, the Rattler. We start off by throwing a muzzle brake on the weapon to stabilize the shots as the weapon drifts more to the left than anywhere else when full auto firing. We then use the Syngard Arms 16.6 inch SOCOM barrel to increase our range without sacrificing the extra mobility that we'd lose with the longest barrel. To complement the longer barrel, I next use the FSS close quarters stock to again help with ADS speed. Again, we use the nicely balanced 50 round mags. And lastly, we end with the operator foregrip to help that recoil control without severely impacting our ADS or aim movement speed. This variant of the Kilo is far more useful in keeping one's distance than it is at bum rushing objectives or other players. From the looks of this build, it looks like a typical assault rifle, and that is basically what it is. The longer barrel extends the effective range of the weapon to allow for a 4-shot kill out a little further than before, while the muzzle brake and operator foregrip help to smooth out that left-leaning recoil and to control the vertical recoil as well. The close quarter stock is always my first choice when doing a build for longer ranges, as the barrel is more intended to help with range while the ADS boost of the CQC stock offers some viability in sometimes unavoidable close quarters encounters. This build can work in standard multiplayer, but it is definitely more built for use in ground war. There are fewer tight areas in ground war, so the medium to medium long ranges that this build excels in fits perfectly with that game mood. If someone really likes the Kilo, using this build with a suppressor could also make for a viable Warzone option as well. However, that's not something I ever see myself attempting. After all is said and done, the Kilo is basically your standard assault rifle. It doesn't particularly seem to excel anywhere, but it also doesn't have any real weaknesses either. It offers a base damage consistent with all the other 5.56 rifles in the game. It has a fire rate somewhere between the low end of the Odin, Scar, and AK, and the high end of the Ram 7 and 13. It doesn't have a great deal of recoil either. The only exception to this is that it kicks up and to the left, much like the Ram 7, while most guns will kick up and to the right. All these mediocre stats actually end up putting it very high on my list of best guns in the game. Most guns excel somewhere else, then have another area that needs to be compensated for with attachments. The Kilo is basically average to good in every department, so it doesn't really lack anything you need to watch for. This also allows for these attachments to amplify all the Kilo stats without worrying about anything lagging behind. The Kilo is a fairly unremarkable rifle, but not one I regret using at all. This makes sense considering it's the very first assault rifle available in the game. If you haven't tried it out extensively yet, I'd recommend giving it a go if for nothing else than variety. It likely won't replace your current favorite weapon, but if you're looking for a new gun to love, you can't really go wrong if you go with the Kilo. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I sure enjoyed putting it together for you. If any of you out there liked what you saw or heard, feel free to drop a like on this video. If you think any of your friends might like what I have to say, then don't be afraid to share this video with them or anyone, really. And lastly, if you want to hear more from me but don't want to miss any of my uploads, you can subscribe by hitting that little button down below. By doing that, and making sure to turn on those notifications, you'll never miss a new upload from your new favorite YouTuber. As always, I wish you all a pleasant day, and I hope you have a great week coming up. This has been Doodleman149, and I will see you later.